Hello, one and all. Brandon Carey is here, and you may have noticed that we are going back to the first Ratchet & Clank game. And we're not going to be here for very long. The thing is, I managed to find and download a couple of saves for the first and second Ratchet & Clank games that have all of the things that you'd want to unlock unlocked. And so, thanks to these saves, we're going to actually take a moment and explore some of the hidden extras that we didn't explore in Ratchet & Clank 1, and then go and do those in Ratchet & Clank 2 Going Commando as well. So this episode will be dedicated to that, and any time we have left, we'll take care of any remaining platinum bolts. I guess or the titanium in Going Commando. Whichever one. I will take care of those with any time we have left, if we have any time left. I don't know how long this is going to take. I generally have no real estimation. But it should be finished before the stream is up. So without further ado, let us load in to Novalis. As you can see, we've got a gold weapon and more bolts than we could possibly count. You have all the gold weapons here. Some weapons did not get gold versions in this original game. That's fine. But more importantly, what you didn't see in the original run was this section of the pause menu called Goodies. You can put cheat codes in here and activate them. Here's a list of the skill points that were in the game. We got a couple of these, but we didn't get most of them because we were playing kind of a sort of not any percent, but we were getting all gold bolts and nothing really else. Some of these things are always unlocked. Like this cinematics viewer is always unlocked no matter what you do. But some of the these bottom four things here, they are not unlocked just for beating the game. For two of these, you have to get all of the gold weapons. And for two of these, you have to get all of the skill points to unlock them. So we're going to take some time to explore the sketchbook, the epilogue, the making of video, and the commercials, which is the ones I'm really looking forward to. I've always enjoyed when video games give you this kind of stuff like concept art, because here you can see Ratchet's kind of character evolution from what he started as, little scrappy little, I don't know what that is actually. It looks kind of like dog-like, and then he grows a little more cat-like as time goes on. I remember when Insomniac was talking about Ratchet & Clank at some point, one of the things that they were talking about was they wanted Ratchet to be a creature that was bipedal, walking on 2 feet, as opposed to quadrupedal like Spyro, because when they were trying to figure out new ways to iterate on the Spyro formula, the only thing they could think of was new breath attacks and new breath weapons. And with a bipedal creature, you can do all sorts of things, like all sorts of devices and gadgets and whatnot, that you'd expect a human to be able to pilot. You put this bipedal character, you could have them do the exact same stuff, and probably even more depending on what the universe is capable of. And so what they really wanted was a creature that they could put any number of new mechanics or features or weapons and items onto, and dramatically change and alter and add on to their kit as time went on. And that's part of what inspired Ratchet after Girl with Stick didn't pan out. And you're kind of seeing this here, where no matter like even from the start, Ratchet was always a character that was on two legs. That form on in the middle on the right for Clank's concept art, that's really interesting because he looks really uncanny. That would be a really, really uncomfortable thing to have on your back, playing through all of Ratchet and Clank 1 and the trilogy as a whole into the future series. That's really weird. Interesting. It says here that they were going to originally go for 3 smaller robots before they decided just to stick to the one robot because they could develop that one robot's personality more than they could with 3 different ones. That makes a lot of sense, especially since so much of the story is him kind of bouncing off Ratchet. Just having so many extra voices in the room sounds like it would really drown out the relationship. Yeah, that's a really good sketch. Three months. So this was 2 weeks and 3 months into pre-production. That's a lot of time must have went into finalizing Clank's design then, because it says here Ratchet only took 2 weeks. That's really interesting. I wonder why it took so long with. I wonder why Clank took less, way more time than Ratchet did. I don't think I've ever asked that question. I want to be a forced island under aerial attack. Oh, this is really cool. It's little novella sketches. Seeing a lot of the background art. Really, really interesting stuff. And we're probably not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this because Ratchet and Clank Going Commando has way more to explore, extra stuff. That might even taking the rest of the 2 hours we have. A lot of really good sketch work here. I like that they're not showing us the finished painting, they're showing us the sketches, the concept art. As you can see, like, how it was. Okay, here's some finished art. I always enjoy looking at like the sketches before a finished painting goes live, because I know you guys know I commission a lot of art. So you get to see the process unfold. See how many different decisions are being made on the piece of art, because there's a lot of choices that go into a given art piece. Like from composition to framing, what's in the foreground, what's in the background. Like you see the ship up there. Like people have to choose to add and remove elements to an art piece to make it a coherent whole. This is mainly just concept art, but I imagine a lot of it is the same because you want to use this concept, this piece to convey the tone and like the framing that you want to have the end user experience when you're making the final product. Not much to go here. This is just some enemies. There's a lot of really cool robot designs. And my friend Nova also said that he hit a lot of his current art style was informed and inspired by Ratchet and Clank because of particularly the eye work. All this. If we went back to see Ratchet's concept, you'll see that if you look at the eyes, pops out when grinding. Oh, it would have been cool to see the shield on their guns. Wow. Oh, the first NPC they made was Big Al. That makes sense to see so early in the game. All these like weapon and gadget designs. Okay, here's a good example. I was saying my friend Nova talked about how the thing, and he models a lot of his work after Ratchet and Clank. In particular, is the eye work. A lot of a character's expression before you even get into any other detail can be traced back to the eyes. People are drawn to a character's eyes. So you see this like these big eyes that Ratchet has, and how they kind of like gleam almost with the lighting, and you see a lot. You can tell a lot about him with the eyes combined with that smirk almost he has in his face. That tells you more than you'd ever really need to know from a character bio. This picture is evocative of who he is as a character. I know Nova tries to capture that a lot in his art. So I've heard talk about this during his streams, and if you haven't watched Nova stream, he's a great. His stream link should be in like below the Twitch TV, below my profile on Twitch TV. Like I have like in my about page I have him recommend, and he is top billing there because I know he streams all the time. But I know he said that a lot of his artwork has been informed by Ratchet and Clank specifically. And these are just little. It is just like magazine covers that talk about what some of the characters were doing. Like this is just goofy little like jabs and japes and jokes. Like top gift ideas with holiday season. Racetrack tragedy claims 5 robots. I was on reverse. So anything for a few bolts, Captain Quark. Just showing how washed up he is. The truth. Is Skid hooked on Nano? Morphoray ends galactic hunger gap. I guess that would make things easier for to feed if you turn people into chickens. Victims of the Rhino. Popular plumbers. Will plumbing ever be the same? The water worker asks the same question every day. I saved the galaxy from an evil mutated strain of Drywat. I kid you not. Prime. Robot of the Year. Clank is always right. Never, always listen to Clank and never ignore him. He's always right. Every time. Reader digested. Wow. Rhino salesman pleads not guilty. Lone Commando wins war. So he says. The best way to man's hearts through his rib cage. Hover border. Okay. Ratchet like the motion picture. Hot bots. Now, this making of video, if you were a kid like I was, and you had the official PlayStation magazine growing up, you're probably going to be familiar with this video because it's the same one that you had when watching it's the same video that they had on the demo discs back in the day. It's still worth taking a quick look at.
Prepare to be transported to a brilliant sci-fi universe filled with imaginative characters, high-tech weapons and gadgets, and unprecedented action.
Yeah, this is, you can tell this is a
Welcome
PlayStation magazine demo behind the scenes, because it's as much an advertisement as it is a behind the scenes. In fact, it's probably more of an advertisement than a behind the scenes, truth be told.
When we started talking about the ideas behind Ratchet & Clank, this character that rockets from planet to planet with weapons and gadgets, well, weapons suddenly jumped to the foreground. Ratchet lives on a backwater planet out in the edges of the galaxy.
He's a tinkerer, loves to put things together and take them apart.
I forgot how snappy this.
He's got this really strong thirst for
this
adventure.
one is.
And lucky for him, he gets to meet Clank, which allows him to travel to new worlds.
And Ratchet and Clank meet each other, but they don't necessarily get along.
Ratchet just wants to go out and blow stuff up and have a good time, and Clank is much more serious about accomplishing his goals.
Showcasing an impressive arsenal of state-of-the-art and radical weapons and gadgets, Ratchet and Clank delivers.
I like looking at this like early interface.
And now,
when you get weapons in this game, there's such immediate gratification.
That's true,
Go out
actually.
and blow the crap out of everything.
With the gadgets, we wanted to make sure that there was a lot of different options for the player when they're playing to kind of explore a lot of different ways to kind of cause some havoc and destruction.
There's the Tesla Claw, which shoots a bolt of electricity out, which actually picks characters up.
I like this
throws them
test
in
HUD.
air, and they explode. You've got the suck cannon, which allows you to suck characters in and hold them. And
That's a
fire
cool
them
interface for
out.
the test for the suck
Rhino
cannon
is
too.
an acronym for Rip You a New One, and you just stand back, fire that thing, and it destroys anything in its way.
I love the pyrocitor. I'm not sure what that says about me.
One of the most unique weapons we have is the Visibomb.
It's awfully fun to cruise around the level from the bird's eye view and then target an enemy on the ground and just blow them up.
We were really surprised how quickly Ratchet came together. Ratchet started as this really small, scrappy cat type thing, then kind of a much taller dog-like creature. And what I ended up doing was actually taking these two forms and putting them together, and that's pretty much how we ended up with them.
As artists, we've set a really high standard for what we want to achieve in this game, but it feels really good to know that the programmers, the designers, everybody has set equally high standards.
Everybody who comes on board
Remember
here
at the
is
time
excellent
that
at what they do and have
PS2
really
is still
high
pretty
expectations of
breakthrough
delivering
technology.
excellence.
When someone plays an Insomniac game, they can see anywhere they look in the
So-
game, there's an attention to detail, quality, as well as
Like a
technical
lot of this
performance.
was groundbreaking work
That
at
is
the
never
time. Like
lacking.
this was pioneering stuff.
developed by Insomniac Games, Ratchet & Clank is the development team's first entertainment venture for the PlayStation 2.
We knew we had to come up with something that was going to raise the bar even farther than Spyro had as far as action platformers went. And that's where Ratchet & Clank came from. We're actually expanding the genre. We're trying to break out of what people typically consider the action platformer or character action game genre.
One of the big differences between Spyro
Yeah.
and Ratchet is being able to animate this stuff on the PS2.
In a single level of this game, there's probably more art than was in an entire game on one of our PS1 releases.
That sounds
Every
right.
single level of the game, we bring forth something new for the player to do.
Our
By the 5th or 6th level of this game, we
This
are
is
actually
why,
blessed
like, this is part of why Mark
with
Cerny, when he was the architect for the PS4 and PS5,
and
or
there's
the
a lot of levels
PS5,
in this game.
no one
It's a
questioned
very
it
deep machine. We've written immense amounts.
because Mark Cerny has made a
Single
career
language,
doing a
probably
lot of the
more than 100,000
most
lines
influential
compared to what
games
we did on the PS.
on the PlayStation platforms.
You know, more by a factor of 10.
We can have very rich, detailed environments. We can have lots of enemies attacking you at once with their different behaviors. The AI has become more complex with the faster processor speeds.
Like, I think Mark Cerny worked on this and Jack and
many
Daxter at the same
ships
time.
And planes and vehicles just traveling through to breathe life into the environments.
There's loads and loads of stuff wherever you look. There's detail, there's movement, explosions. It's a busy world.
We're not just creating these environments and expecting them to sit there and expecting people to say, wow, your polygons are so pretty. The point is, it's alive, and there's a lot going on. It's not a static universe, it's an interactive universe, and you interact with it.
This game has a lot of great things: art, technology, design, power from the PlayStation 2, but the best part
Yeah,
of it is you
this
get
there you go with the as much an advert as it is a behind the scenes. That's probably more so an advert than the behind the scenes, honestly.
Artists and animators, Insomniac Games raises the bar and delivers another captivating game only for the PlayStation 2.
When I tell people about what I do for a living, like, that's not work. It's fun.
The Insomniacs don't take themselves too seriously, and people love to come to work and just have a good time, and I think that really is shown in our characters.
Look, plumber's crack.
What did you just say?
I said, look, the plumber's back.
All right, why?
Even Insomniac has been rated one of the best places to work in the entire country for a while now.
To giving our games a lot of humor. We use a little bit
Not
more
say they're perfect,
sarcasm
but like I believe this game in particular,
fighting.
like the entire trilogy was made under heavy crunch.
With an immense
But
arsenal of gadgets and weapons,
compared to where you could work in in America, it's actually not a bad place at all. It's actually one of the better ones in the entire country.
Detailed graphics, Ratchet and Clank is a galaxy-stomping, adrenaline-soaked.
I look it up, but I'm afraid that might cause issues with OBS if I did. So
to
I'm
make
gonna
this thing
hold off on that.
The largest, loudest, most active world we could possibly think of.
What Insomniac has done with this game blows my mind every time I see it. Like, I just sit in awe and stare at the visual material and just the all-encompassing feel that this game offers.
There are a lot of things that the players have to do, a lot of things that players have to keep in mind, but when it comes down to it, it's really just about blowing shit up.
Blow up a lot of shit. Blow up.
Blowing shit up.
They did not catch that bleep. You can still hear him say shit.
Ratchet and Clank, coming to a galaxy near you.
Time best place to work. Best small and medium workplaces by Great Place to Work and Fortune. Fortune, and if you don't know, and I don't know if it's an international. I think it's international. It's a biz magazine that talks about like the workplace and more importantly like money margins for businesses. Got some ads, and we're gonna probably move on to back to Going Commando after this.
That is Corey. He's helping us with our inflatable decoy test for Ratchet and Clank. Oh, man.
The inflatable decoy, one of 36 weapons and gadgets not fit for this world. Rated T for teen.
Yeah, these were all like, what if Ratchet and Clank weapon, but in real life, with exactly what you'd expect. These were all actually pretty clever ads. I gotta say. I don't think I saw any one of them on TV. But when I was a kid, I laughed at all three of these.
Okay, Pete here is going to try to hit that target with the Devastator, a rocket launcher designed for Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, man!
Oh! The Devastator, one of 36
I wonder
weapons
what
and gadgets
practical
not fit for this world.
Because those look like practical effects and not CGI. Oh, I guess CGI wasn't really like a huge thing back in those days, because that was the early 2000s. So all this is practical effects they used. And I'm wondering how they did it. How they did a lot of them.
Of course, it's Jerry. The morph array is used in Ratchet and Clank to turn your enemies into chickens.
Wait, before you do that, just explain to me how it's gonna work.
Oh, it worked. Jerry's a chicken. Are you sure we can turn him back, Jerry?
The morph array, one of 36 weapons and gadgets not fit for this world. Rated T for teen.
36, huh? Let me count that, actually. I'm curious if that is a correct number. So there's 15 weapons. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 30, 31, 2. Yeah, that's, I guess, 33 if you include the hoverboard. And the that's a very technical, like, 36. And real quick, since we do have the gold morph array, I just want to turn a couple enemies into big chickens. Because the gold morph array turns them into big golden chickens. Now that that is done, I am going to launch the other Ratchet and Clank game. As a reminder, I legally own both of these games. These are my legal copies. This is not piracy. I own these. I own them. They're mine. Alright, now we all get into the big meat and potatoes of this, which is Going Commando's extras, and particularly the Insomniac Museum we'll be spending a lot of time with once we get through with some of the others. This one has all the skill points on it. You get a bunch of costumes for Ratchet. One of the ones, there's always the big head ones, and those are fun. This one is his clown outfit, which I never really used. Joker, Ratchet, because that's what you would call him now. Beach Boy is another one, which is just him in a beach outfit. Snow Dude was Snow Dan. Or is the Snowman? The one I always did use when I was playing back in the day was this one, Ratchet and Clank and Ratchet and Tuxedo. I was particularly fond of the tuxedo look, especially because when you get the final armor in the game, it fully covers Ratchet, so you don't see his head. So I got used to using sometimes the Beach Boy, but primarily the tuxedo costumes, just so we could actually like see Ratchet's head and see the facial animations that were occurring in the middle of cutscenes. That was important to me growing up, and it still is now. To turn this down, we're gonna go to Slim Cognito Ship Shack, which when you're playing New Game Plus, you just get this place by default. Like you don't have to go find it. You just have access to it no matter where you are in the game. So that you can always upgrade your shit. Or more importantly, come in here and choose which of the many, because once you get all the skill points, you unlock a ton of different skins. And the one that the save file creator chose is the one I usually go with, which is the Insomniac Special. You see the Insomniac Moon logo on the ship. Though I am partial to the split nose. And the standard wing. Just cosmetic upgrades that really don't affect the functionality of the ship at all. The upgrades are already on this ship. Well, short, like here's the movies. And they added the making of commercials and sketchbook as features here in the movies section of the specials menu, as opposed to giving them their own dedicated like sections. So we're gonna start watching a couple of these. That was a cool little like yes in line with the voice. RPG elements. What they called them back in the day was RPG elements. Yeah. You know, now that I'm watching these again, calling them making behind the scenes or making of videos, they seem really mislabeled. Oh yeah, because you mentioned this a little earlier. Those spherical worlds. That was before Galaxy. That was before Mario Galaxy, so that was new at the time. That hadn't been done before. Huh. Notice he said his, because this was primarily aimed at teenage boys at the time. There was still this like belief that girls didn't play video games, which is never true. It's never true. Yes. You gotta admit, there's a lot of impressive weapons in this game. Then why is the Lancer in this game? Oh, sorry. and that would become a feature of Ratchet and Clank for ages and ages since. That's a very buzzword way of saying it, but it was at the time an interesting, like the idea that you could bring rewards from those mini games into the main game was really important. I think I hit the... I'm not watching the whole thing, so... Whoopsie. I remember thinking these were not as funny as the ones from the Ratchet Clank 1. Yeah, these were not as funny as they were in Ratchet & Clank 1. No, not at all. Good try, though.
This is the test of the mini rocket gun, the rocket launcher from Ratchet & Clank Going Commando.
Captain Quark. Yeah, it's not as funny. It's not really as funny. Interesting they chose making this a movie instead of just a menu that you can navigate in Going Commando. I wonder why that was, because I feel like that would be... Well, no, because that would be... You wouldn't have to put the descriptions on there, I guess, if you did it that way, this way. Well, you don't really get to savor the art the way you did in the Ratchet & Clank 1 version of the same extra. That's a bit of a bummer. But, I mean, this game will make up for it for one of the best extras that they've ever had in a video game ever of all time. The other thing, you get to see them use the actual items from the art in the game. That's actually a pretty cool transition. I will give them credit for that. And then you get to like, oh yeah, this weapon, it's this one. You use it this way. But the weapon evolves too in that transition. That's a really cool progression from the beginning armor to the second strongest armor in the game. And here are these little shortcuts to all the various mini games we have access to. Kind of like this little feature of Clank going through his first day at Insomniac. We arrived to work early in my vintage car. My smaller stature made it possible for me to secure license or let Ratchet drive. He seems to enjoy it. At first I was afraid of Larry, the security guard, but he is a pleasant fellow once you get to know him. I like the that it's one of the robots from the Thugs for Less in the Gladiator arenas. My full factor sensors detected a strange smell in the elevator. Our front desk administrator, Demiri, enjoys greeting the employees. Today I received the latest information on robot harassment in the workplace. Oh, interesting. Angela has a great laugh. I love to regale her with my latest exploits. I try to leave out the parts that may be a bit off color. Oh, and there is Phil. Hard worker keeps to himself. I think Phil is the inspector bot in the background. I kind of like this, how they just like photoshopped the character models into like actual Insomniac like offices. Mr. Price found a multiplication error in my counting report. The second one this year. You check my math circuits. How many times I explained the effects of carcinogens on the human anatomy Dan used to give up that filthy habit. The artist be able to capture aesthetics from every angle. This is his favorite part of the day, the big ham. I kind of like the idea of like the character posing for the artists so they can make it into the video game. That's pretty cute. We get free lunch every Friday. Today they're offering grease pudding, my favorite. That's a cool cafeteria for Insomniac. I like that. Splitting a spandex on the shot, he got a new suit. This is I like how cute this is. I really enjoyed doing this when I was a child, and I still enjoy it now. Argus, the swamp monster. It works to find every bug in the game. I'm unsure where they get their motivation. Call the gun. They always treat your QA team with respect, because they are the reason most of those games come out on time. Or at all. Although, as someone, like, I never did QA. I know a couple people have. Like, this accurately describes what I hear about the job, is you feel like you're constantly at gunpoint. So this is a little off-color joke, but, you know, it was the 2000s, and we really didn't know any better about the game design process at the time, so it's nice to be overzealous when letting off a little steam. The wall had it coming anyway. I should just to multiply itself again. I need to just track this from memory banks. I kind of like this, that it's Plumber's crack, despite we don't actually see his crack or his behind. So, like, it's just Clank trying to do Ratchet's joke. And my 7th level wizard shield spell, step off, Walther, step off. Angela and Abe is... Oh, Abercrombie. Abe. That makes sense. These are running like the idea for the solar-powered neck warmer. Cleaning crew arrives at your office ready for tomorrow. Good night. Oh, and this is the Dynamo minigame. Yeah, that was Sheep Blaster's Dynamo minigame that I was Oh, this is a cool little idea. Try to hit your opponent by using the physics to your advantage. That's pretty rad. Oh, here is the kind of stuff I'm looking for with paintings. Ratchet the Exterminator. Okay. Because this is like... Oh, God, imagine if the robot fight was anywhere near as cool. As it looks on this. Like, imagine if you actually had to, like, do some, like, platforming in the middle of the fight or something like that. Like, because... God, that fight is... Again... It's not a bad fight, but it is a tedious one. It's so tedious. But just imagine if he's anywhere near as active and engaged and involved as this screenshot or as this painting implies. Sorry. Oh, Ratchet's dead. R.I.P. in peace. Tracking Ratchet in space, moving for the kill. These are some really cool paintings. Looks like they're all by Wes Louis. Show the character a solitary environment walking towards the ship, and it's okay to show that it's the unknown. Okay, that's pretty. It's pretty cool. Endorsement deals. Oh wow, this is cute. Oh, is that a tarot card reading? Okay. The old Coca-Cola. That's such a 2000s and 90s era joke. The Coca-Cola polar bear, but it's the Yeti. This is another cool little feature they added, where you could play the entire game in first person. And I actually did, when I was growing up, play Ratchet and Clank entirely in first person when I unlocked this feature. Where's the turret? Put the shield here. And the bouncer there. And the rhino, of course. Actually, no, the rhino should be here and the bouncer should be there. And it's like you literally just play the entire game in first person. Such a really cool idea. You can do some tricky shit with this too. Let me see if I can pull off like one of the moves. Obviously, since we're at the end of the game, we're a little overpowered, so we're not gonna like get the full experience of first person, but you're like platforming first person. This is kind of goofy and funky. Let me see what wall jumping was like in first person. I have to double check real quick because I'm kind of curious. Oh no, this is why they didn't do that, because that was kind of that was unpleasant to watch. Oh, that was unpleasant. All right, I think we're done. A lot of the non. Like, the kind of cool but not important stuff. We're going to talk about challenge mode in a second. Or, like, after. Well, no, I guess we can talk about this now since we're kind of dealing with this. When you beat Ratchet and Clank, one of the, like, this is one of the more fundamental features they added in Ratchet and Clank canon is a feature called challenge mode, which you unlock when beating the game and doing it's essentially New Game Plus. Essentially, what it is a new constraint added on your like the game is made harder. Enemies do more damage, but to compensate for that, you're allowed to upgrade your weapons. Like you're seeing here, like these are all blue, and some of these are yellow. They're mega weapons, which when you start a challenge run, like any upgraded weapon that's already gone through its first evolution can be turned into a mega weapon through a fee at the store, which allows it to level up a second time. And once it does, it becomes the ultra version of that weapon, which doesn't change the properties of it, but increases the damage output to be comparable to like what you're doing in challenge mode right now. So that's like a way to like give you something to shoot for during New Game Plus, along with the overpowered Rhino and Zodiac weapons, which this is just a screen tear or a screen clear. And the Rhino is a like rapid-fire missile launcher that just blows up everything in its path. And to help you afford both these and a lot of the mega weapons, you see that bolt multiplier on top of my screen. Like when I guess times 4 right now. And the way it works is any bolt I pick up at this point are 4 times as important in terms of value as they would be otherwise. And that can go up to a max of 20 times. But the moment I get hit, the multiplier resets. So it's this skill game of how long can you fight and how high can the multiplier go before you get hit and it resets, and how much money can you acquire while the multiplier is going active. And there's a little push and pull throughout the entire game that you get from that. And the fact this is a feature that has been added to every Ratchet & Clank game going forward. Even the ones these days have a challenge mode, because it is a very easy way to implement a New Game Plus. And to give you a reason to keep playing the game and keep acquiring bolts. Not to mention any challenge rewards, the multiplier, like they're multiplied by 10 when you do it in challenge mode. So like that is this is one of the secrets as to why Ratchet & Clank has remained such an enduring franchise for all this time, because it created this challenge mode to give players a reason to keep coming back. Now that we've finished talking about that, it is time to go to one of the coolest installations that Insomniac has ever put into a video game. This is the Insomniac Museum. Now, there are a couple ways to get here, but we are unlocking this because the safe has all the skill points and all of the unlockables you could think of. This is a 100% perfect playthrough. Once you get that, you unlock the museum. You should just access it. But there are ways to get in beyond that you can look up if you're interested. And this is styled to kind of look like Insomniac's offices.
This is Mike Stout. I'm a designer at Insomniac Games. Hi, welcome to the Insomniac Museum. Here you'll see some of the great things that never quite made it into the game, and you'll learn a little bit about life here at Insomniac Games.
And that's Mike Stout, and I've talked about him before. Mike Stout is one of the guys who does the Let's Play, where it's Insomniac designers, him and Tony Garcia, talk about the game as they play it. If you have not seen that yet, it is 100% worth checking out. The YouTube channel is called Useless Podcasts.
Hello, my name is Brian Allgeier, the design director at Insomniac Games. These floating spherical monstrosities are the elusive gravity spheres.
Let's turn the music volume down a little bit so we can hear his voice a
Which
bit.
were originally going to be included in Silver City. They proved to be too difficult and a bit nauseating to be included. They are preserved here for posterity. Swing shot up to try running around one, and then swing shot again to get off the sphere.
Let's get our swing shot out. Yeah, I could see how this would get nauseating. I can already feel my stomach lurching a little bit. It's a cool idea, but I can see why it would get cut. This is a little cool. This is cool. These knee gravity boots to explore. That's really cool. It's a really neat little gravity room here.
Hi there, my name's Tim Trespass. I'm a gameplay programmer here at Insomniac Games. I'm a Leo from Washington, D.C. I like anime and shiny objects. This car was originally going to be included in the battle with the giant robot on Snivlac. Unfortunately, its lack of heavy weaponry proved its bane. It now calls the Insomniac Museum its home.
So this is actually fun because if we go back to this painting here, you see that vehicle? You can actually see like this was intended to be during the Snivlac battle. You can see it in the art for that fight. And that's really cool. This is a different gravity room, but...
Hiya! This is Oliver Wade, the animation director here at Insomniac Games. The Three-Headed Hydra was a big cut from Ratchet and Clank 1. It was originally intended as a mini-boss on Pokitaru. Ratchet battled this beast whilst riding a boat through blowfish-infested waters. However, it didn't end up being that much fun at all. Hiya! This...
Interesting. This is a cool little concept. Oh, you can see, like, the mutant eyes. Like the other mutants on Pokitaru. Probably the right choice to cut this. But it's really cool that they even, like, open the door about that. That's pretty rad. I appreciate they're willing to talk to tell us why this did not make the cut. So remember, each of these games coming out in like 1 year apart, which means they developed that like each game in about a year's time. There's a lot they would have to cut just to get that done.
My name is Chris Town, and I'm a tester here at Insomniac Games. Here at Insomniac, we're so hopped up on caffeine that we bounce off the walls! You can do the same with these gravity ramps.
Okay, that's just telling us what we already know about these. It is kind of fun that you can just walk on the wall. I think there seems to be like a thing in every room in the building. That's pretty cool. I can appreciate this little touch. I can't leave the Insomniac Museum again. I fucking love this place. I love that they were willing to do this and get a little inside glimpse as to what they had to cut and for what reasons. We'll walk. That's actually getting a little annoying to pilot.
Hi, my name is Sean Whistler, and I'm a tester here at Insomniac Games. Don't worry, Ratchet. You wouldn't have had to fight this monster even if he did make it into the game. This giant bug ship was intended to act as scenery only, flying from place to place to ensure high detail on buildings, while leaving the play area open. Sean
It was
here.
cut
Don't worry,
due to
Ratchet.
time constraints. Yeah, I can imagine that. This is a pretty detailed thing to have the texture and put all into the final game. That's still really cool design though. I wonder if they could I wonder if they reused it at some point in something else. Like I could see this being like a thing in Resistance. You add a bit more, like make it a little more realistic and grittier. Like I could see them like at some point coming back and using a model similar to this. They probably have. Still a really, really cool design though, for like background ships. Let's come over here.
Greetings, this is Oliver Wade, the animation director at Insomniac Games, doing an atrocious British accent. This is the original Gadgetron vendor from Ratchet & Clank 1. The official reason it was cut had something to do with saving memory. The real reason has a lot to do with squirrels, hacksaws, and our lawyers. I can say no because I am no longer able to do this accent.
So this was the original vendor then. Like, you know, those Gadgetron vendors from Ratchet & Clank 1, this was intended to be those, and then they eventually scrapped this in favor of something a little simpler. Because remember back in the PS2 era, even still, we talk about this a lot in useless podcasts, but the ability to read from disk was still actually a pretty important thing to manage. Like where items were physically located on the disk that they'd be easier to retrieve and read was actually a big consideration when implementing games. That's not so much the case anymore. These days we like the space issue is mostly a non-existent one. Until you talk about bloated game file sizes, which I have, and it's an issue that will continue to plague us till the dawn of time, till the end of time, I imagine. But back in the day, you didn't have the luxury of having like 50 gigs of like a 50 to 70 gigabyte game file, so you had to consider what made the cut and what didn't, and how to save on that memory usage. I guess that was just an example of what they had to cut to make room for things that mattered a bit more to the final product.
Hi, I'm Leslie Matheson. I'm a designer here at Insomniac Games. This was intended to be the water system for Ratchet & Clank. However, as even this little patch of water taxes the game engine to its limits, a modified and severely optimized form was what eventually made it into the game. To see this patch in action, press circle.
I like that they deliberately like cordon off this section of the room so that the only thing that you like really see of note is this puddle of water. And that way they can still like show off this little... Oh, that's so rad. Yeah, this looks like early PS3 like kind of water. And that's really impressive given the time. Like, no wonder it had to get cut. I love that they deliberately like avoid putting anything of note here, just so that they can just put this puddle here for us to play with. That's really rad. That's really rad.
Hey, it's Tim. This monstrosity was intended to be a boss battle fought on the jet ski gadget. Seeing as the jet ski never made it in Ratchet and Clank, however, neither did this boss. May he rest in pieces.
The jet ski gadget. You know, you'd sometimes you think, oh, what if that stayed in the game? You remember the glider bait into Ratchet and Clank Going Commando and go, yeah, maybe that was worth cutting, actually. Maybe they were right all along.
Sean here. This guy was originally intended to be an enemy in the ill-fated jet ski level that never made it into Ratchet and Clank 1. A moment of silence, please, for this gentle giant, torn down in his prime.
Yeah. I mean, you said that the glider came into Going Commando and it was also not a great gadget. I don't know why they cut the jet ski, but I am almost positive that they made the right call putting that jet ski.
Hi, my name is Tony Garcia and I'm a programmer at Insomniac Games. This wonder of an explosion was created especially for Ratchet & Clank 2. Its extreme versatility allowed it to creep into many different places in the game. You'll even see it in the Electrolyzer Puzzles. Stand on the blue pad to make your own explosions.
And that's Tony Garcia, the other guy who does the useless podcasts. Like that's him too.
Tony Garcia here. This little demonstration allows you to create your own shot effect. Using the magic of debug technology, you can edit the shot's size and color, and then watch the bandit shoot it at the Blockman. Don't feel too sorry for the Blockman though, he's evil.
You can literally like use the debug menu here to make a bunch of explosions. Number of moon rocks. Yeah, so I can see like if you're making shake camera. Okay, interesting. Yeah, if you have this available, imagine they use this tool to make a bunch of explosions in the game. Drop some of the red to make it a little more green-blue. There we go. Yeah, if you have these little particle systems that you can use to make your own particle effects. Trail thickness. That's really this is oh, you see it like you see it blow up. Inner width. Oh, that's so fucking cool. Yeah, like that. I could see how if you have access to these two particle effects, you can make a buttload of different explosions and particles and like shots just with these two systems. That's really cool. All right, we're back here. We're back here.
My name is Corey Stockton, and I'm a designer here at Insomniac Games. You may recognize this drill from Ratchet & Clank 1. It was held by a large construction worker who gives you a lump of raritanium. This is originally a weapon called the Revolverator. Ratchet would strike enemies with it and then spin them over his head. Corey here. You
Ends up leaving Ratchet open for attacks after required library to pull off, so it was cut. Okay, so yeah, I imagine like that this kind of weapon would just not play. But I do like that they reuse the model so that they could like give the construction worker a thing to have in his hands and have Ratchet fix it for the raritanium. That's actually really cool, like asset reuse. So that even though they made this weapon, even if it didn't make the final cut, you still had a use for the model itself. That's pretty rad. That's pretty resourceful.
Hello, this is Pedro Hastinas. I am a gameplay programmer at Insomniac Games. This dummy was created to test the new reaction system which we added to Ratchet & Clank 2. With this system, enemies would always be sure to react appropriately to being damaged without a ton of hassle. Go ahead and hit him. He won't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no little car here for traversal, but we're gonna use our own feet. Oh, that's trippy. Oh, that's trippy as balls.
This was created to test screen buffer effects. Screen buffer effects are used to create things like distortion bubbles and heat hazing. This, however, ends up looking like a hall of mirrors. Can you guess why?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. I would be interested in screen buffering effects. I have to look that up actually, because it's been a while since I've done any graphics work. But I would be interested in hearing how that is the case. That's so fucking cool. Look, it's the Pyrocitor. Nice. I don't have the charge boots in this. Or do I?
Tony Garcia here. Using these 3 blue pads, you can edit the 3 particle effects in the center of the room. Go ahead, play around with them. You can achieve some truly great effects this way.
I noticed that Tony Garcia is the one doing all of the particle effects demos. Yeah, it's cool that they just let you play around with these. Oh. Huh. That's really trippy. Another vehicle over there to explore with.
Corey here. This monstrous robotic squid was created for one of the Ratchet & Clank 2 prototype levels. Since that level never made it into the finished game, however, neither did poor Squiddy.
I'm always interested in seeing why developers cut things and for what in how it affects the final product. Like I'm curious what this prototype level even looked like. I mean, we'll never know ever, but it's a thing that does spark some interest in little old me.
Mike Stout here. Have you ever wanted to create your own infiltrator puzzle? Well, now you can. Just stand on the blue pad and play around with the values a bit. Confound your friends and amaze your enemies.
Interesting that literally all the Inflatable puzzles can be broken down into this little toggle here. Interesting. Which means you guys make a bunch of puzzles real quickly with that, but just tweaking a couple of values. That's pretty clever. Clever use of time and resources.
Hello, I'm Carl Grande, the QA manager here at Insomniac Games. This gadget was originally intended for Ratchet & Clank 1. Unfortunately, it didn't make the cut, and so never saw the light of day. It now makes its home here at Insomniac Museum, gone but not forgotten.
Ah, yes, the infamous jet ski that we will never see. I wonder if there's like old concept art that had Ratchet on this jet ski. That would have been interesting to take a look at. See what the intention was. Although again, if we got the glider in Ratchet & Clank 2, perhaps it's for the best that this never made it into the final game.
Chris here. This helmet was the original model for the Hologuise gadget in Ratchet & Clank 1. It was eventually changed to the handheld model you see in the finished game for reasons unknown. However, we once again suspect it was due to the squirrels with hacksaws.
That's a running joke in Insomniac, by the way. Whenever it's a memory issue, they would always blame squirrels. This is probably just a little too much for the game to handle. They would always call memory issues squirrels. Alright.
These teleporters were originally intended to go into several of the levels. Due to time constraints, however, they were eventually cut.
You can tell because it's untextured. Oh, the Electrolyzer Puzzle. The person who did this save must have already hacked this Electrolyzer for us. Yeah, you can tell it's unfinished because there's no animation here. It's just a cut.
Brian Allgeier here. These escalating rows of blocks were used when we were in the early stages of creating Ratchet & Clank 1. They were used to test Ratchet's jump heights and jump distances to see which would be the most fun.
I wonder how they arrived at the most fun. Huh. I wonder how they arrived at this being the most fun jump height. It's like 3.5 feet. 3.5 meters.
Brian Allgeier here. These walls, which range from narrow to wide, were used to test wall kick distances for the original Ratchet & Clank.
Interesting. This is basically their like testing chamber. Oh my god.
Brian Allgeier here. These ramps get steeper and steeper as you go on. They were used to test how Ratchet's feet respond to different floor angles. It also helped establish that a 45-degree angle was the sharpest that Ratchet should be able to walk up.
Alright, so these are the degrees. Alright, and if they're correct, this should be the sharpest we can go up, and we should not be able to go up here unless we jump. And at that point, it's just no-go here. Fortunately, the people who created this chamber gave us this ramp here we can walk off. To get a better idea of what's up there on the top. Or not. Because you're fucking with us. It's pretty cute. Yeah, all of this here. Like, as a kid, I ate it all up. I loved seeing all of this stuff in the game. This test and, like, prototype material that was not really intended to be seen by the players. I think there's nothing up here. Oh, there's a little window up there. Wonder what's up there. Let me try something. Because I doubt they would surface this to the player without giving them some way of getting up to there. Which means there has to be something here that I'm missing. Yeah, no, I'm missing something. Or I'm not, and that's just there to fuck with me, which it might also be. Alright, this is really cool. And that leaves us with a solid hour and a half that we can use to go platinum bolt hunting. So let's finish off, or as much as we can, the platinum bolts in our original run. Let me switch memory cards real quick. And if we go back, we have to relaunch. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go back to our save here from before we beat the game. And we are going to go platinum bolt hunting. Let me see if I can bring this up without causing the stream to fucking crash. It seems to be going fine. So according to the guide, the one that's... I have a guide up now. So you get that platinum bolt. Let's see what others we have. We are missing. They don't tell you what bolts you have missing. That's a little frustrating. Huh. How does this happen? Okay, then. Come out and fight me. Cowards. Alright, the entire battalion is here, so maybe we can stroll past them. Yes, we can. So let us do that. It is amazing how much weaker this feels compared to the bouncer, despite being a higher level weapon than the bouncer was. It almost doesn't seem like you should be right. Out here, but just behind it there is a villa surrounded by dark gray canisters and orange lights in the back. Let's handle this first. Just after repairing. Okay, so it's after this. All right. Let's pop a shield. So after this, there's a tractor beam puzzle. Okay, yeah, I see. Literally is before the finale. Yeah. That's sneaky. That's sneaky. So it has a tractor beam symbol on it. That's sneaky. I like that. That's clever. So I guess the last titanium bolt. This area. We will load and return. Demo cell. Okay. We'll see how many of these we can get before time runs out. This will be the rest of the stream. This was just a way to just finishing out Going Commando by going through some of the extras that we had access to that we didn't actually like make use of in Ratchet & Clank 1 and Going Commando. I am so happy the Insomniac Museum still exists, and they, well, I guess not anymore because they've kind of stopped doing it. But I hope they do bring it back because I genuinely enjoyed learning about the process through those little collectibles. Yeah, this is for Protopets. Fuck you, asshole. Alright, let's refill, because we are trying just to level up this plasma coil. We do have access. No, we don't have access to that yet. This save didn't actually beat the game. Nothing beats the bouncer. Still leveling up, slowly but surely. Alright. Making progress. Believe. Yes. There you go. Gotta freeze that fountain. And the second part, we need to hit the Matic for. Oh, there's a receiver bot, yeah. Perfect. That are the two on this level. And load to go back to the entrance. Tundor Wastes. I believe there are 40 platinum bolts in the game. So probably not gonna get them all tonight, so we're probably gonna end up finishing this prematurely, but that's okay. We were never gonna get them all anyway. It was much more important to complete the museum. Platinum gold over there. Yeah, right here. Let's go back here. I see. Very nice. Yeah, this is upgrading my weapon by quite a bit. So we need to hit the matic for this. Now we're in. Hopefully more of them won't show up. Oh, right. Platinum bolts up here, gotta climb. Got it. Yeah, we have one missing in small, but we can get that real quick. Because we got the other one. I do remember getting that one in the stream. I'm being pretty proud of myself for getting it. So let's follow the Levitator puzzle. I don't believe there should be much resistance over here. Oh, please no. Oh, thank God. So, platinum bolt we're looking for. It's right on this pad. Instead of going forward, we go up there. Nope, we're falling. Let's try again. That platinum bolt, and the one we're looking for is right up there. Gotcha. Yeah, I remember there's the one in Snivelak. Alright, and... I think we could try again for the nanotech upgrade in this level as well. Because we did miss that as well. We did miss that in our first run. Give it a few tries, I suppose. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. First try. Holy shit. Lucky us. Oh, we did get this platinum bolt. Wait, why isn't it on our... So we did get this, right? Let me double check. Yeah, because JRBN was here in the chat, and he told us all about this platinum bolt. Let's verify. Okay. A little close, but still did it. No airplanes here because the thugs are gone. Or helicopters, I mean. Oh, did the game crash? Yeah, the game crashed. Let's reboot it. Bummer. Absolute bummer. I kind of wish you could skip this. (2003). 2003. Jesus H. Christ on the cross. This game is 19 years old. There's the pad to the... Okay, so yeah, the bridge is right here. I swear we got this. But let's again verify that we did. Yeah, we got it. Okay, it just wasn't marked on the map for some reason. Oh, right, Boldon. We might have 2 bolts to get, and that might be all we get before we wrap up. The most obvious one is the one at the end of the level. There's a mod shop, okay. Let's buy some mods, yeah, sure. Oh, wow. That's my actual clock. Huh. Still doing some damage with this gun. Oh, there's a platinum bolt right there. Yeah! She had just enough time to get this other platinum bolt before calling it a day. There we go. Explosions are huge for the bouncer. Here. Let's get our last platinum bolt of the evening. Didn't get all of them throughout this playthrough. We got the vast majority. I can be happy with that. I can be happy with that. Looks like we did get most of it after all. Oh yeah, there's one here that we missed. But overall, not a bad job. And with that, our time with Ratchet & Clank Going Commando will be coming to a close. Thank you to Insomniac Games for putting so much cool stuff to kind of show off and talk about during this recording into these games. The Insomniac Museum remains, to this day, one of my favorite bonuses to ever be put into a video game. It is something that I genuinely miss from the older Ratchet & Clank games, and I wish that the future games would start doing it a bit more. Because it's so cool to see the design choices that went into Ratchet & Clank and how they ended up the way they did. But that's... Oh. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's not midnight. It's only 10. That's cool. I didn't expect them to actually do with a bell ringing in sync with my clock. But that's all I have to say about the game. Remember, I am Brandon Carey, also known as New Dark Cloud, also known as Enigma. And as always, wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands, get your vaccine and your booster shot. I know it sounds like COVID is not over. I still wear my mask everywhere I go. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. It has not ended yet, despite what government and business would like to tell you. People are still getting COVID. People are still getting long COVID. So be safe out there. And remember, Black Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, and all lives could not possibly matter until minority lives matter in this country and in this world. Have a great evening, and I will see you the next time where we will maybe do Sly 2? It's still up in the air depending on how my discussions with Chris go regarding the quarry. We might actually take the weekend off because I have company over. We'll see. We'll see. It really depends. It's very up in the air. Until then, though, take care, and I will see you next time. Bye!